Hey,
welcome to
episode 11, right? Episode 11?
This is the Twin Tail Studio Podcast, episode 11, but it's probably considered episode 1 for anybody who is only on YouTube, doesn't listen to podcasts. This is the first time we're putting our podcast on video.
What's the opposite of impaired? If you're visually impaired, you can't see, but if you're
deaf,
there's got to be a term for like if you're
hearing
visually acute. Is that it? Maybe, yeah. So if you're for the visually acute, this is episode 1. No, this is our first time trying this double streaming thing. We're going to be making this on our podcast, like on our podcast stream, wherever you find that, but also on our YouTube channel. You can watch us talk now too with this cool backdrop and everything.
Yeah, hopefully it looks okay and sounds okay. The audio should be similar to our normal podcast, but we did take off the giant screens, the pop screens, because I don't think they're necessary. But
and another perk to having us recorded is now Adam won't let me play my my brick hammer when we're recording because people can see it now, so I can get it.
Yeah, if you ever listen to the podcast and hear me kind of trailing off, it's because Brady's doing something on his phone or like I'm playing a video game, and I'm like, I gotta keep talking to myself,
playing Pokemon,
trying to fill the silence.
Now that we have visuals, I can always show off my obsessions. Like, oh, I've been playing a lot of my brick hammer. This is what I've been doing. This is like the size. Look how small this is. I mean, if you're not watching this on YouTube, too bad. But that's like my phone, and it's like. It's such a great little pocket companion. Love it. All my games.
I don't think I'm going to buy that one.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's just an
your loss,
right?
Man. I've been playing Resident Evil 2 on it. Resident Evil 2 in your pocket. Come on now. Anyway, back to studio news. So this is Twin Tail Studios podcast. What's been happening? It feels like it's been a while, even though it's only been a week.
We did record this on Sunday, and when we were trying to film it with this webcam, it was flickering constantly. We thought we'd post it anyway, but I was watching it. I was just getting a headache. I was like, we can't post this. It just looks awful.
Quality control.
And plus, we were a little distracted. Riley was down here, Brady's daughter, and she was like passing things and talking and stuff, and it was distracting. We were kind of all over the place. So we're trying to re-record it and be a little more structured here. And so this week, we've been spending, actually, before we get into that, like I've been playing... I got back into Marvel Rivals because there was an announcement for this new season of Marvel Rivals. Anybody who plays it, Gambit and Rogue are coming. The Season of Love.
Isn't Gambit already in the game?
Today, as of today, the season just went up today. We're recording on a Friday, which is strange for us, but that is. I'm going to go home after this and play a little bit of it. Anybody who plays Marvel Rivals might have known that there was a co-op mode they added to the game, PvE. It was Marvel Zombies. It's pretty fun.
I forget if we talked about that, if that was last episode.
Yeah, we might forget what we talked about because we just recorded an episode and we forgot what we talked about.
I just meant like I wasn't sure if because like
I know, but we could have talked about it in the episode we just recorded. Who knows? I
was talking about the one before. So
probably it was a Halloween thing, so probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing that quite a bit and just a little bit, just get back into it. But the season started, so now I'm gonna dive into it more.
I think on the lost episode, we're going to call it, the one that we recorded and we deleted because of the quality issues, I think I was talking about this thing. Like because I've been playing a lot of Chromatic, been playing a lot of retro games, and I was talking to another, what's his channel? Drive-Thru Reviews?
Drive-Thru
Reviews. Joel Eddy. He posted a video of him kind of gushing over this thing. It's called a Thor. I think it's Thor Pocket or something. I forget. But it's like a dual screen emulator thing. It looks really cool. I haven't picked that up yet, but I did pick up, what I mentioned before, I picked up this awesome little, it's called a Trim UI brick hammer. They had a Trim UI brick, which was that, but plastic, and this is the hammer, which is metal.
It's too small.
It's awesome, dude. It's incredible. It
Bumpers
feels great.
Bumper buttons.
Yeah, but it's different than you hold it kind of naturally, and it feels good. But anyway,
too small for my taste.
Playing a lot of Pokemon Emerald because like Game Boy Advance is like kind of my holy grail era of pixel games. All the Castlevanias, Aria of Sorrow, all those cool games. But mostly been playing Pokemon Emerald. This thing's great though. If you're into retro gaming, this seems to be like the top of the line handheld right now. People are loving it. So yeah, check that out.
Does it make you regret buying a Chromatic then?
No, I still like the Chromatic. I just feel kind of guilty because like you only have so much time to play games because I'm trying to write a book, so I can't be playing too many games. But.
Speaking of playing games, one thing that I've been wanting for a while was just announced today. Steam discussed their new hardware coming out next year, which is the Steam controller, which looks awesome, the Steam machine, and then the Steam frame, which are like the VR glasses.
I literally want the whole hardware lineup except for the Steam frame. I mean, I would try them out, but I don't really care.
Yeah, it's not something I need, but it would be pretty damn cool to just sit on your couch and play your games just on your own. Like
the Steam machine, I didn't even think about like wanting that, but the more I think about it, it's like, man, that's because like people have so many years worth of buying random games on Steam sales, and it's like having the capacity to play that on your. And I think I listen to a lot of podcasts, and people have the same mindset. Everyone's been wanting that. Everyone's been wanting to play. They don't want to sit at their desk and their PC playing these games. They want to play on their couch. They relax. And
yeah, my wife was excited that Enshrouded update just came out, the water one, and that game, it's a really cool game, but I never want to sit at my computer to play. So that game is a good example of it's not on console. It's coming to console eventually, but if I get a Steam machine, I can just play it as a console. This came shortly after there was kind of leaks and rumors. I think they were confirmed about the next Xbox coming out in a couple years, like 2027 or something, is going to be basically just a PC. It's gonna run Xbox games plus your Steam library and Epic Games and all that stuff.
Makes me wonder if they intentionally leaked that because they knew about the Valve, or Valve announced theirs sooner because of the leaks or something.
I think it's going to be. I will say that I think that the Steam machine can probably run Xbox games as well. Depends on how well integrated it is. But if the Xbox is just as powerful and runs Xbox games and Steam games, I would definitely get one of those instead. But the Steam machine is coming out sooner, so
yeah. It seems like they're taking a new approach to like kind of like how Nintendo treats their hardware. It's more like almost like a toy, because I saw like a bunch of these products they had where it's like different face plates for your Steam machine, like to decorate it and stuff.
You installed lower hooks.
What's that?
You installed more hooks?
Yeah.
Why is that looking like it's hanging down on this side over here?
I didn't measure it or anything. So I guess that's what we've been doing in our off time. I've mentioned this in the podcast episode that we did not keep, but I'm crossing the threshold of 100,000 words on book 3 of the Malice of Light, Smoldering Vein, which will be part of our bundle on the Gamefound. So I need to get that to the editor before the end of this month, or by the end of this month is what I promised him. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's a great book so far. People always say like, "Oh, this is the best thing I've ever done. This is the best book I've ever written. This is the best game I've ever." I feel like it is. Like, I mean, it's just natural progression.
This is the best game we've ever designed.
Yeah. I agree. It's like overall the best product. I think it's like such a concise, beautiful looking thing, and with the book box, I'm just stoked about it. So it's weird because this is like the 5th book I've written this year, and I feel like every book, all the 4 previous books this year, like kind of came together a lot easier. This one's been like, I feel it more forceful, and it's like the ending's been really dragging out. But I think it's going to pay off because like whenever I go back and edit or rewrite and stuff, I'm just like, wow, this is a really cool book. So if you like fantasy and stuff, you're in for a treat.
It's probably because this is the first book where you were like on a deadline, where you weren't just writing it for yourself because you decided you wanted it.
But it's also the it's like the halfway point, because like this is the 3rd book of a 6-book series. So like the ending, it doesn't have to feel like final because like there's 3 more books after, but it's like a halfway point, so it needs to have, I feel like the ending needs to be a little more impactful than.
Why didn't you just make it a trilogy? Just you'd be done with it.
There's reasons, you'll see.
I mean, you can have the Malice of Light trilogy and then the next trilogy, Beauty of Shadow.
If this was the end, it would go on for about like 300,000 words. I wanted to have smaller volumes because a lot of like, I'm not like Brandon Sanderson releasing like a big, huge, 4,000 page beast. I'd rather break that up into a few, digestible chunks. So that's what I'm doing. So it could be a trilogy, but I space it out between 6 books because I'm reasonable. I'm not a sociopath. Not that those authors are. I'm just kidding. I love thick books. I love big books.
We also just put the finishing touches on all the files for the demo kit. Well, I should say Chris, our graphic designer, did. Thankfully, our playtesters also caught a few things we could fix before the print run. So that's good.
Playtesters rule. Get yourself some good playtesters. They're awesome.
It's going to be a little more expensive than we originally thought, but I think it's going to be worth it because we're having the factory do it for us. They're going to print the demos for us. They're also, going to prep it with some foam cut out, stuff like that for the miniatures. We're 3D printing the miniatures. But that being said, these demo kits are for content creators who want to do previews for the Gamefound project. and it is enough to play a full 4-player game. And if you have any content creators that you're fans of, feel free to let them know, hey, go to the Twin Tail Studios Facebook page. There's a form that we shared.
It's on our Instagram as well, so any social site you find,
or just send them to the Discord to chat. We'd love to have more content creators who are interested in doing videos. I think we have like 8 or 9 demo kits that are going to be available for
and we're hoping to like rotate them if we have enough interest. We want to
make sure they're going to be put to good use, because obviously the quantities are limited. And we'll also maybe try to do like something when we'll get a copy, and maybe we can do a playthrough if we can set up a cool streaming setup or something where we could maybe play through a game. We're not the best at video stuff just yet, so
I think this looks great.
We'll see how it looks when it's uploaded. But yeah, as far as that, there's some more studio updates, but I think since this is kind of our first YouTube post, this is our first what?
It's a tease, but we've commissioned a video. Like, we won't obviously show anything yet because it'd be cool to.
Well, that's not worth mentioning yet. We haven't.
It's exciting. I'm excited. So it's something.
What if it falls through? Then we're just embarrass ourselves.
I'll make my own video, and then it'll be something.
So we might have a video to show as well at some point, which we'll use for the Gamefound page as well.
Which is up. It's up. The preview page is up now. So if you're just now seeing this, I'll post a link. Maybe here. I don't know how to, like, if I end up like.
Don't put those names. By the way, we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Adam Sadler here, and this is Brady. He'll probably have our names somewhere on here, but I don't have them up the entire time. And also, I think you should use the logo up in that corner without the book, because
the logo wasn't there before. Now it is. So
you're not going to do the logo?
I won't need to. It's right there.
Okay.
The logo's right there.
Oh no, the cat's back. So make sure the cat doesn't. So there's going to be a cat in interruptions at some point, because this cat's a terror.
Like I said, we've actually got a lot of traction on the Gamefound page. You've probably heard us mention this before, but our launch date is going to be kind of predetermined by our follower count. So we got to boost those numbers, boost those up. So go follow.
Ow.
Jeez. I'm going to cap the mic there.
Sorry about that. The cat just was stretching and clawed my knee.
You got to be ready for that, dude.
I wasn't even looking. Sorry if that was loud. But anyway.
It caps it out usually.
Anyway, as I was saying, this is our first YouTube video for our YouTube channel. And some people might not have listened to our podcast previously. We've had a podcast going for over a year now, from Joint Operations, which was our previous name for the podcast. But once we started this company, this became the official Twin Tail Studios podcast. So we will be, we've had this, like I said, this is episode 11. So we've done 10 episodes so far, a few months worth of content. But if you're first time joining us, we are Twin Tail Studios. We are a company that we started, to publish books that Brady writes, games we design, but also any other creative projects.
Our first book was something we wrote.
Yeah.
Our book, Ransom Kick Remains.
And that was actually kind of the catalyst for starting the company.
Which I'll post here.
So I apologize to people who do know all this information, but we might be going over some details we've already established. But we want to make sure that people who are coming to us for the first time know who we are, what we're all about. We started this company, Twin Tail Studios. Brady and I have been designing games for
2 main operation, just 2 right now.
Yeah, we've been designing games, tabletop games, since I think our first game was 2013 was the first game we designed together. But I've been working in the games industry since 2010. So 15 years of doing things in the tabletop industry. But anyway, we started this company. We previously our last company we worked at in the tabletop games industry was Blacklist Games. People might be familiar with that. They probably have a bad reputation around some, things that have happened. I don't think many people have a good opinion of Blacklist Games.
We can do a deep dive into that, though, because we have a question for the listener questions. So we'll kind of cover that a little bit.
But yeah, we when we were doing freelance game design in the 2015, 2016, something like that, we got commissioned by Blacklist Games to do Street Masters, which is pretty much they had all the art and sculpts ready to go, and they just needed a design, and it was like street fighting video game themed, which we thought was cool because we grew up with beat up games and stuff. So we said sure, we design it.
We said sure as long as we can make a co-op and not like a head-to-head, like a one-on-one fighting game. Like no, make it a beat 'em up.
Yeah, so we designed that. It was on Kickstarter. It funded decently, delivered okay. There were probably some few hiccups, but everything got delivered. It followed up with Brook City, which is a cop themed game we did, and again, did okay if it delivered. And then we did Aftershock, which was another Street Masters follow up that did pretty good. And after that delivered, we got offered full-time jobs, which we decided to take because we could pretty much design whatever games we wanted.
Yeah, and there's like, we'll get more into this, I said before, but like just to preface, full-time job is kind of a loose term. It was more like I guess the more appropriate term is we were like on a retainer, because a lot of when you're doing these game designs, it's by project, and a lot of them can be kind of pricey because you're paying a designer to do the entire project design, the project planning, everything. So like it could be upwards of 5 figures for just a design fee. So it's actually within publishers' interests, if they have a designer they like or a design team, then they'll use a retainer, just pay like an annual stipend salary. That's kind of what we were on. We were just on a salary, but it was full time, so we got to do it full time, not have to work our jobs. So
yeah, so we designed a few games during that time as full-time designers at Blacklist. We also did product planning, art direction, marketing, live streams. We became the face of the company basically, and people thought that this is our company, which was obviously we regret that now because we did not realize at the time. We were just excited and doing everything we could to make this company succeed because we wanted to keep making games.
Yeah, we were doing everything except the business stuff, and there were a lot of annoyances where we're like, this is not making sense. So that's what led us to this. Like, we can probably do the business stuff ourselves.
Yeah. So as we did more and more projects, eventually we decided we wanted to commission other designers to do projects, and we kind of took more of a let's be more product managers. We're gonna plan the projects that we do. We'll do development work, stuff like that, but we're more interested in building the company portfolio and things like that. So we decided we would take these titles of like VP of product development, which sounds great, but it means nothing. Like, we were doing the same thing. We just were doing more things other than just game design work. But obviously that even cemented more people's opinion that we had a lot of control in this company.
Yeah, which we'll talk about during the questions. Yeah.
But yeah, when things started going downhill, and we started realizing there were actual issues with Blacklist not fulfilling projects, we kept trying to do things to figure out how we could solve this problem, but we weren't really we didn't really have access to all the information, the partners and all this stuff. So we decided we just wanted to leave. We wanted to do everything we could to try to get projects we created out to the backers, something like that. But when we realized we can't do anything, they're just out of our hands, we decided the best thing we could do is just leave, so we wouldn't be taking more of Blacklist money. They could try to figure out how to fulfill these outstanding projects themselves. Fast forward to today. So I took a few years off from the games industry. I've been working in software, which I currently am right now. Brady's been writing books, and we wrote a book together called Ransom Creek Remains after he wrote a few books. And that process kind of reminded us of working together in creative projects.
Yeah, because writing the books, because I decided not to pursue literary agent or find a publisher, because the querying is almost like, when you're writing books and marketing books, if you try to add like querying and finding a publisher, all that stuff, that like you'll just stagnate and you won't be able to release anything. So I just made the decision of just self-publishing. So after self-publishing 3 or 4 books, we got to talking, because it's like a lot of things we wanted to avoid when we were making games before. The reason we worked for companies like Blacklist or other publishers is because we thought we wanted to avoid all the different business things that you had to do as a publisher. But I have been taking on so many of those things from a self-publishing standpoint for books, marketing, commissioning artwork, commissioning graphic design, all this stuff. And so I think it just kind of came to a head where it's like, we should just go back to doing games where we have all these ideas and we have a back catalog of games we've designed that maybe we could like get our hands on. And so
I think like when we worked on Hour of Need was one of the projects at Blacklist Games where that was a game where we got to just create a setting for it. Like it wasn't like Street Masters was Blacklist setting. Alter Quest was more of ours, but I think Hour of Need was more like completely original, like obviously here superheroes inspired by favorites of ours, but just something we just decided to create. So that obviously, when it comes to game design, we're pretty focused on theme, and that's kind of like our first the first thing we establish when we design a game is like, what's the theme of this game? So having control of our own is very important. And since Brady has all these books that we're going to be publishing anyway, it's great, environment for games. Like we can just make games in these settings. So it makes sense. Anyway, that is kind of a quick summary of the background of why we decided to start this company, and what our plans are going forward. This game, Malice of Light Adventures, if you're not aware, is the first project we've announced as this company. It's a Gamefound project we're going to be launching early next year. There is a Gamefound preview page up. You can follow it if you haven't yet. Put a link in the description, probably.
It's a cooperative roguelike adventure for 1 to 4 players. Totally solo friendly. Player scaling is natural. There's no special rules for if you're playing solo 1 hero versus if you're playing with 4 heroes. And then it's also going to be you could choose to also bundle the game with the first 3 books of the Malice of Light, which is the Acrid Sky, the Withered Roots, which are both available right now if you want to read them. You can't wait till the game comes out. And then book 3 is actually not even out yet. It's going to be releasing when this releases. So this is kind of like the big celebratory release of book 3, but you can get them all bundled up in a cool actually I have a visual aid here. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be packaged in this nice hardcover set. These are kind of mass market size paperback dimensions, but in hardcover form, so it's actually a really, really nice book size to hold, very portable. It's always been my favorite book size, so
it's heavy.
Yeah,
it's a heavy set.
It's gonna be awesome. So it's very premium edition of the first 3 books. So like I said, you can get the first 2 now if you want to read them. They're available as paperback, hardcover, audiobook, ebook, whatever you want to, however you prefer reading, or you can just wait for the cool deluxe version, which is coming with the game. So very stoked on that.
Yes, that is the first project we have planned. And again, this is a company we started with pretty much no funding. The only funding we have is me and Brady have invested our own personal finances into this company. Pretty much the most of that money has been used for art, getting art commissioned, advertising, just administrative things, various accounts, Dropbox accounts, things like that. But anyway, we can't afford to manufacture a game of any kind of large scale without crowdfunding. So crowdfunding is definitely the way to go. If it's successful, that's one thing I want to mention is a lot of people who are familiar with us, they have seen us post this game and have made comments like, oh yeah, I'm not really into crowdfunding, but I'll check it out when it comes out. Unfortunately, it won't come out if most people feel that way, because it's going to rely on crowdfunding. If it doesn't fund, we won't be able to print it.
Yeah, we have a lot of requests too about localization, you're going to make it available in Spanish or Italian, whatever language is not. And yeah, we do have partners lined up, but that all is dependent on us getting this campaign funded, because adding all those together complicates things. The whole goal of this project is to get something together and show that we can deliver it in a timely manner. So we'll be doing all of that post-release when the game is ready, which we know is kind of complicates things, because if you are looking for a particular language, but hey, you can still share the campaign with English-speaking friends and try to get support.
Those foreign publishers, they watch campaigns as well. So if a game does well on Gamefound or Kickstarter or whatever, they're more interested in partnering up and doing a version in their language, because they can see that it's popular. There's a market for it. So Gamefound. The Gamefound project is very important for the future of our company, what we plan to do. And this kind of goes into this kind of trails off that we have a special announcement we're going to reveal here in this video. So we were thinking about doing a press release about this, but we figured we might as well do a press release. Yeah, but we'll give you a little teaser. But anyway, part of the do
you want to do that off of the listener questions, because one of the questions pertains to that?
No, we can reference it again. Okay. But we have a lot of plans going forward with the company, and we mentioned this whole blacklist thing, and we've been asked about this in the past, to give us all this information about what happened to blacklist. Do you know Alex? Do you know who was your boss, who hired you, all this stuff? There's all these details that some things we don't really feel like is anybody's business, because people just run people's business. How businesses run is not everybody's business. But anyway, we know that as a crowdfund and in the crowdfunding community, people want more information because they're risking their money on something. So I understand all that, but when it comes to what's your phone? I'm kick that.
Oh yeah. Stretching my leg out.
When it comes to our relationship with the Blacklist, we had never had an intention to ruin anybody's company or prospects. Mainly, not only because we don't wish harm on anybody.
When you're working in a professional industry, it's like, even if you feel like things are not going your way, like, you have to be careful about what kind of bridges you burn versus like what kind of information you share that might not be yours to share, because you want to behave professionally. Even if you're not treated professionally, it's still kind of up to you to behave professionally.
Well, we're mostly treated, Blacklist treated us well, like us personally, regardless of whether we were always told the truth about everything. We don't know. We can't verify everything we're told. However, all that being said, one of the benefits of maintaining good relationships is because we can do things that we can bring back things that we've done in the past that might have been considered dead. We mentioned previously in a podcast episode that we had secured the rights to some of our previous games, and there are 3 big ones that we purchased, basically. We can announce 2 of those today. One of them we have to wait on to see how that goes. But number 1 is one of our favorite designs we did at Blacklist Games, which is, Brady has it right here,
one of them,
Hour of Need. So we're very excited to announce that we own this game. We own all the files to it, all the rights to the game, everything that was ever made for this game, we own.
If we had the money, we could hit the print button, swap out this logo, and say, "Here's the new Twin Tail Studios Hour of Need."
we don't have any physical inventory, but we have all the stuff needed to print the game. That being said, it still requires money. So one of the projects we have, one of the ideas we have, is to maybe just do a print run for do a reprint Gamefound project. Say, hey, we're going to reprint this. Who wants it? To see what the demand is.
Because we have enough character content that wasn't unlocked in the original Kickstarter. So if we do another crowdfunding, because we already have all the fixed costs we've already invested, we have this. We paid the money to own all these assets. All that's paid for. We're in the hole for it, obviously. So it's not beautiful for us.
I know a lot of people might be thinking, why are you spending all this money buying these old games when you want to make a game? Okay, it's very important for people to understand that we got this because it was a bargain. Like, it was,
and because it was us, because
it was it was essentially useless to Blacklist because they weren't going to do anything with it, and they need to fund other things that they're trying to resolve. Like, Blacklist sold Alter Quest to Steamforge along with Street Fighter went to Colossal Games
along with Myth and Goal.
I hope they do something with it because I was excited about that game. James Hewitt did a great job with it, and I'm bummed that we didn't actually get to make it. But anyway, that's one of them. We are very excited. We're very, very excited about Hour of Need because we have, not only can we reprint it, but we can just do a new game in that system, and we can do anything. We can also take that IP, like superheroes, and just start writing books about it, or maybe partner with an artist to do comic books. That, all kinds of possibilities.
Ellie, you want to do a comic book? She said she's doing a comic book. You can do this comic book.
The other thing the other game that we purchased was part of that deal was Brook City. So that is one that's
up on my shelf upstairs. So
that is one we would not just hit the reprint button on. We have so many ideas of how to do a Brook City second edition.
And the most exciting part about this is because originally, like, a lot of the ideas for Ransom Creek Remains was actually born when we were working on Brook City, because we had this idea for kind of a Twin Peaks style expansion, because we had the Delta Keys, which is kind of like this Miami Vice style, like tropical island cop story, but we had ideas for kind of a supernatural version for the Halloween setting. So because of that, now that we own Brook City, we can bring that like kind of brand, we can rebrand Brook City as this kind of shared universe, because Ransom Creek Remains is based in the Relic Myers universe. Now we can kind of bring them all together because Brook City can exist within the Relic Myers universe as well. So we have a lot of like shared assets in that regard. But it's exciting for me because when we did Ransom Creek Remains, we were hoping it'd be something that opened the door to like doing tabletop games of that setting, and now we have a cool brand to pair up with it. So. But it would be a new design. It would be we kind of like take that game, reimagine it in a newer version, because we have lots of things we would do differently. Obviously, that game, even though we enjoyed it at the time and we were proud of it, it was kind of a rushed project to get out the door.
And those who might not be familiar with it, Brook City was a cop themed. It was basically like our take on. We wanted to make a game like Grand Theft Auto. But you were police officers.
Yeah,
you were the cops.
Yeah.
So it's
homage to a lot of like Lethal Weapon.
It was a big city board with just with a grid of squares, and you would just run around, grab cars, drive around different locations to solve crimes. There was a criminal deck and a case deck. Lots of cool concepts. I don't think it didn't get enough time development. It was, like Brady said, rushed. But
back then we didn't have a network of testers. It was just us. It was just us come up with ideas and saying, "Hey, does this work?" and put it out.
You have a cat hair on your glasses there. Isn't that driving you crazy?
I can't see anything.
I think it's actually just a really long eyebrow hair.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway, that's very exciting that we have these games in our back pocket, but we can't even do anything with them yet because we need to make sure that we can, we're not doing this full time. We have day jobs. This is just something we do in our free time when we have the availability. If this game does extremely well, if this game all of a sudden makes $1 million and we can do games full time, great. We got so many projects lined up, but we have to take it slow. We're going to do it right. We want to show people that we know how to make games, and we know how to deliver games to people.
And we're not
reliably. We want to show people, the people who thought that we had any kind of control in Blacklist games. We want to show them how we would run a company, and so we want to do it right. That being said, if you're not familiar with what we talked about with Malice of Light Adventures before, it's going to be a very simple campaign. We have lots of cool surprises for like daily unlocks and stuff like that, but it is going to be a one-box game. Everything in the box, and then the books.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, a lot of crowdfunded projects nowadays, and I'm guilty of this. I get really sucked into the hype of all these like projects. They kind of promise you all these hours. It's like this. You can play this many times. Like it's a big sprawling campaign.
It's a lifestyle game.
Yeah, we're not selling that. This is a fun game that you can break out with your buddies or by yourself and play in an hour or two. And it's meant to be a digestible, a cool thematic experience that's just replayable and modular. It's kind of what our specialty is. People who know us already will know what to expect. We're just getting better at that niche. So yeah, that's what we're selling here. Is we're a nice, concise project, and it kind of sets the tone for our company. I think going forward. Not to say we won't do big sprawling games, but that this is going to be kind of like our trademark. I think.
I will say I do have a bit of nostalgia for the days when we first got into tabletop games, and like Fantasy Flight Games was the biggest kid on the block, and they put out a big game like Runebound or something, or Rune Wars, Descent. It was like a really cool one box, and they just you got the game. If you liked it, then they would do an expansion the next year, and like that expansions were like cool things to look forward to, not just I get all the 7 things all at once.
They weren't like burdens that were like packaged with your core game to try to get you to do it all at once.
So we don't want to make like lifestyle games. Now that being said, maybe in the future if we have a really cool idea for like some big game that's going to have tons of expansions, it's not out of the question. But we definitely like the idea of just doing a game that somebody can drop like $80 on and not think too much about it. Like here's a game I can put on my shelf. It'll be there for my game night. You don't have to revolve your schedule around it or like have your table locked down for months while you're playing through some long campaign.
And your game sessions aren't going to be burdened with all this like narrative text reading, because the books that come with the game will tell you the stories behind the game, and you can read those in your own time and not take up game time because a lot of these games nowadays they kind of disguise theme into just big chunks of flavor text you have to read through. And I think we had a whole episode of
Yeah,
the podcast about this.
I think 2 episodes ago or something. If you are just now joining us, check out that podcast episode because we talk about our feelings on narrative in games quite a bit. So yeah.
Should we do listener questions, or do you have more to discuss?
I was going to say there was a third one that we purchased. We're not going to announce that just yet because that one is tied to some other things that we want to make sure. But again, one of the reasons we were able to make get this deal is because we maintain relationships with people that other people wanted us to just like throw them under the bus or tell them they're the criminal or worst thing in the world. No, like people make mistakes, people make bad business decisions, whatever. We still maintain personal relationships with people, business relationships with people, because especially when it comes to things that we create, if we don't want those in jeopardy, our need deserves to be available to people. It's a great game, great product. I was just reading a review today on Board Game Geek. Someone posted a review.
Was that a new one, by the way?
Yeah, it was posted today, and it was basically reviewing the game and saying, it's sad that this is forgotten. And I actually commented on it saying, not forgotten. Maybe I should link this.
Yeah, well, once it's posted, you can link this video.
But yeah, it's like, and also like Street Masters. That wouldn't have happened if, we did something to jeopardize Blacklist business, because they were able to make a deal with Steamforge, get that game to Steamforge. Steamforge made it available to people, so you can get Street Masters now.
Yeah, and this kind of goes to when we were getting a little too involved at the right after the Blacklist stuff happened, where we were trying to respond to people, but we couldn't say certain things. This is what it was. This has been years in the works.
There's all kinds of things like that. Even like Lasting Tales, for example, that game hasn't delivered yet, but I want more than anything for that game to be delivered, because Mark did an awesome job with it. It was kind of like my ideal game at the time, where I wanted to have this Frostgrave style co-op RPG miniatures skirmish game. I still want it. I know I can get it the PDF or whatever, but I want the book. I want the cards, the little bestiary cards. I want all that stuff. So, it sucks that things happen, that people make bad business decisions and people lose money and all that stuff. It sucks. But it was never Blacklist games, as far as I know, from my experience working there, it was never their intention to screw people out of money. It was obviously people made bad business decisions, spent money the wrong ways or whatever. I don't know the details.
Didn't let us run the business side.
Well, I also think that there was just a sense of running these crowdfunding things where you're trying to throw as many stretch goals as possible, even if you can't afford them or something, not planning.
Chasing the wrong kinds of dollar signs.
So we don't know the details because we didn't have access to that information. We were
and to be perfectly honest, we just cared about the game.
Yeah, we're I don't even care. We're just making games. We just want to make games.
Whatever allows us to keep doing this, keep doing it. And I think that's what kind of is the unfortunate situations, because there were several deliveries that were great. They ran smoothly. So we're oh, cool. We don't have to worry about that. We can just make the games.
Yeah, that's why we took the job in the first place, because 3 of our projects had fulfilled. And we're okay, we can just make games and don't have to worry about anything else. We were wrong, obviously. We were very wrong.
Now we're going to be right, because I can't point to it right. It's because it's all off camera. But yeah, that's hopefully, we're still open to answering questions about this kind of stuff. It's not a big deal, but hopefully this gives more people a little bit more perspective or more understanding of the situation. Because even our first podcast episode, or one of our podcast episodes, had a review saying criminals or something or thieves or something.
No, it was said criminals, but
I think I did get
the very bad criminals.
Time. I got a speeding ticket a couple times. This came up obviously. If you're watching the YouTube video, you'll see Heroes of Terranoth here. Yeah, there's a glare
pointed downwards.
But this actually all came about because I was actually lurking on Discord. Well, actually, I was tagged. I was tagged on the Discord for Secret Cabal, which is another gaming podcast. Great podcast if you check it out. But somebody there was playing Warhammer Quest and said, "What happened to this game?" And somebody replied saying, "Oh, it became Heroes of Terranoth, but I'm not sure why they didn't expand this." And then Jamie said, "Hey, what happened with this game? Why didn't they expand it?" And I said, "Well, it's because we own it." So anyone who doesn't know, we also own this game. So we own the Heroes of Terranoth. We don't own the IP or the assets, but we could pretty much change all the graphic design and change the art, and we could release this if we wanted to. We probably won't, because we would do something different.
It's also this right here is very much an evolution of this system.
This is kind of like what we wanted this to be, because we designed this, but we didn't publish it. We didn't have final control over the development and everything. So this is a great game, but because of what we liked about doing this, we made this game. So this game could still exist because they're different enough. We could have this game in our library, but the reason this all came up is because somebody asked about this game. So yeah, we do own this game too. We own this, Hour of Need, Brook City. We got lots of stuff we could put out. We just need, get the capital.
And we also have tons of cool ideas for new games that haven't been made yet. So we're not just about, re-releasing old games.
Yeah. Mostly just want to have the assets and have the opportunity to keep the branding, especially for Hour of Need, that universe. Some of it's kind of knockoffy, which I'm fine with. I don't care. But I would love to write a book about some of these heroes and just continue that storyline. So it's exciting.
Podcast questions.
I checked off a couple of them.
I know.
Last time.
I'm aware. I remember. I have a good memory. So questions. Paul Grogan asks, which UK content creator called Paul, who already loves your previous games, would you like to see do a playthrough video of your new game? Tricky question. He knows.
Paul Cronkite. You ever watch Paul Cronkite's videos? They're really good.
He said, but seriously, although you should totally answer that one.
Paul. It depends.
How much do you charge?
I think we talked about this, but yeah, it depends on how much that fee is, because our budget is obviously we've been spending a little more than we should. But
we would have had more if Brady didn't want to do a video. We also spent more. We spent way more than we planned on these demo kits, but I think they're going to be worth it. They're going to look really nice.
Yeah, we've kind of gone above and beyond with artwork too. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's
going to be a lean Christmas at the Sadler house this year.
Let me know what your rates are, and we'll talk about it.
Did you discuss beforehand how would you address any negativity regarding the game and upcoming projects because of certain previous companies' actions and the negativity around them and how they handle things, which some have reflected onto you?
He's talking about Fantasy Flight Games.
Yes, Fantasy Flight Games. They treated me...
Because they lost that Warhammer Quest license. No, we kind of discussed this a little bit with the Blacklist thing. But
it's been on our minds, yes.
It's very telling, because honestly, it hasn't come up at all, which is surprising, because I was expecting a lot of blowback, because there's a lot of people who don't follow as closely all these conversations that happen, because the people who are very involved with the games industry knows enough that Adam and I were not Blacklist Games. We are just... we're just designers. We took some stupid titles that
we were not just designers. Okay, we did do product development. We were the creative part of the company. Yeah. We managed the products where it's we decided what games we do, how they develop them. We did art direction. We managed some sculpting, feedback, things like that. But we didn't have access to the business logistics side of things. We didn't talk to the factory. We didn't talk to logistics company.
We could advise and we could give our opinions, but we made no choices in that regard. Yep. We couldn't see the numbers. There's a lot of stuff that was just kind of behind the curtains that like I said before, we didn't ask, because it was getting resolved. We saw it happen successfully several times, so we trusted that things would keep going that way. But it turned out, obviously, it didn't. So we didn't. I guess maybe we could have had more due diligence, but we could have pushed harder for more answers. But again, how many of you at your jobs push hard to to demand things it's something that might jeopardize your job? Are you going to push that hard about it, or are you just going to try to do the best you can and have a paycheck? So something to ask yourself. It's easy to say those things, but when you're in a situation where you have a job where it's kind of like a dream job where you're just going to design games for a living from home with your brother, it's you're going to try to keep that going as long as possible. Without rocking the boat. Yeah. But all that being said, like I mentioned before, it's been very relieving, because it hasn't even come up really. There's maybe one or two times where we've had to explain, but I do think that a lot of this is resolved because Steamforged Games kind of came forward. They did a great Street Masters Gamefound campaign. It was
a Kickstarter, actually.
Was it a Kickstarter?
Yeah, I thought it was. I totally forgot, but they did a Gamefound Pledge Manager.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was confusing.
Yeah. Anyway, so they kind of showed that, okay, well, this, we're not involved in that. That was all resolved through, Alex and whoever else he's working with, his partners. It wasn't with us. So that helped a lot. I think that kind of kind of put a lot of stuff to rest. But we're still ready to talk about whatever needs to be talked about. But hopefully this will be able to speak volumes. Once we get this funded and delivered, I think that all that's just going to be ancient history, so we'll just move past it. But yeah, again, we're happy to address what we can. But as you can see from our previous announcements, maybe there's some things we can't talk about because they're not fully resolved yet. So
all right, old school gamer in Discord, who was one of our VIP, very important playtesters.
Very good playtesters.
Brady, how was the experience of seeing your characters you are writing about become player characters in a board game? Was it difficult to design the player decks, relics, and talents? That I did that as well. For each, which were the hardest, easiest? The ones that you
tagged me on.
And do you feel their mechanics capture their individual personalities, abilities, as well as the author?
Yeah. So our shared design, like, what do you call it? Like intuitions, I guess, are so like in tune that like it all comes out of theme. So like Adam would be like, what's this relic? Like, what is this relic? And I'll say, oh, this is the, let me give an example, is Dana. She had a pipe or.
Yeah. The relics, I was like, just tell me what they are. Yeah, I'll design them.
And they just, and like the abilities he would come up with, like, yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what I was thinking. So mostly it just comes down to like, as long as the theme is there, that's the second part of the question. So like that part wasn't as difficult because we just work well together in that regard. But seeing them like from just seeing like the art come together and the sculpts especially, oh my god, it's bizarre. Like it is very strange because it's been like 3 years now, I think, working on this series. When did I start this? When did Akron Sky come out? 2023. Maybe?
I mean,
so 2.5 years.
Maybe
because I started the Akron Sky about a year before I like finished writing it, because I started it, I set the prologue aside for like almost 6 months, and I came back to it and finished writing it. So like it's been about 3 years living, breathing, dreaming about these characters. So like they're very closely tied to them. When you're writing a book, it's kind of weird because you can plan all you want, but when you start actually writing, the characters kind of do their own thing. Like you just have to kind of follow along. So like a lot of times I'll be writing a chapter and Annika makes a decision. I'm like, what is she doing? But I'm just kind of following along, seeing what happens. And then it turns out it's pretty cool and tells a good story. So I follow it along. So it's weird seeing all these characters come to life in different ways. And I'm really looking forward to seeing even more, because right now we're kind of a limited scope. We have one box, we have these 4 heroes we have right now. We have 3 villains. Well, I guess it's kind of 3-ish, 4-ish because of the someone calling you.
Yeah, work's calling me. Somebody at work is calling me for some reason.
But yeah, it's been fantastic. If you need to take that, I can just keep talking.
No, I'll figure out who it is, and I might just have to respond. But
yeah, I kind of post about this on LinkedIn too, because I post on LinkedIn occasionally because we have a business presence for Twin Tail Studios. But it is surreal being kind of like trying to be objective, viewing these announcements as if I was just kind of seeing it for the first time. But these are characters that I'm very close to, so it's hard to articulate, but it is bizarre and it's cool. It's very cool though. It's very, very exciting. You want me to do the next one? You got it.
I wonder what that was. Oh, it was Vanathy.
Yeah, read the next question.
No, I got it. Someone at work was calling me on Teams. To both, top 3 designers you'd like to work with and design a game together. Hint, Eric Lang for the heavy metal themed game, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I don't think Eric Lang would like our design style.
No, I've known Eric since I was back at FFG, and we used to
talk a lot with Eric.
I think he was showing me some his work on Chaos Ball, because I was kind of in Blood Bowl at the time, and I was
about Chaos
Ball. Yeah, he's like, I'm doing a sports game, it's gonna be way better than Blood Bowl. Spoiler, it wasn't. No offense, but yeah, Chaos Ball did not.
Yeah, I mean, it was meant to be a much different.
Yeah,
like it's aimed at like super casual, and Blood Bowl is not super casual.
And people still love Blood Bowl. I'm guilty.
I haven't heard Chaos Ball forever though. It's like that just got forgotten.
It's just forgotten. I would say top 3 designers to work with is a tough one, because I'm always working with a designer. So like,
and they're annoying as hell to work with. So.
He's a pain in the ass.
I'm working with Corey Koneska right now. That's pretty cool. Like that's pretty awesome. I've always enjoyed hanging out with Corey. We were buddies back at FFG days.
I already have a top 3.
Is it? Oh, it's each of us top 3. Go.
I have a top. Yeah, I said both of you.
Do number 3 and I'll number 3, number 2, number 2.
I don't want to rank them, but
rank them. It could just be like, what's your What's the first of your three?
My three are gonna be easy because I've worked with him previously and I liked it. But Mark Latham is one of them. I would like to work with him on a dungeon crawl, like a Warhammer Quest style.
Dungeon
reboot.
call me.
He worked on Lasting Tales and he did a great job of like translating everything we wanted to do in this miniatures game. It was great. And yeah, he's probably up there as one of my main ones I'd want to work with again.
I'm going
to reply to this message real quick.
I'd say Corey Kineska. It's kind of cheating because I've worked with Corey before because I did an expansion for Mansions of Madness, the first edition of Mansions of Madness back in the day. I did the yellow, I think it was called Yellow Matter. It was pretty cool. It was one, because like there were several like print on demand expansions for Mansions that Richard Lanius did, but I think Yellow Matter was the only one that was like, that might have been the only original one, and I came up with a story for that, but that was pretty fun. So I'd say Corey would be definitely one of them, and I guess that's cheating because I've already worked with them.
Well, like I said, all of mine are people I've worked with before, so.
So it's still fair game.
I would like to team up with them to do another game. My next one would be James Hewitt, who was one we worked with on Myth and Goal.
He James forever, man.
Yeah, he pretty much did. I think him and Sophie or Sophia. I think it's Sophie.
Sophie.
Yeah, they did the design work for Myth and Goal. I was kind of there as just a. This is my high level idea about what I want. It's a pitch of a design, and then ran with it. But he did a great job. I said I wanted like a mix between Blitz Bowl and Blood Bowl, something between there, and he did a great job with Myth and Goal. But I would like to work with him again on a project. He knows what he's doing. So,
wow, I don't know.
Two British guys too so far.
Yeah, two Brits. I think I would have to, and this is again kind of like, I mean, you said you already worked with these people. Jordan Heckman was the guy who wrote the County Road Z. So we actually started a project called Keyguard Saga, which is actually based in the same world in Malice of Light. We never got far enough because we were kind of hitting roadblocks because at the time we needed a lot of funding for art and assets. That's actually part of the reason why we kind of went roundabout and started doing this. Hopefully we can get back to that and maybe do Keyguard Saga. Jordan's got a really cool design style. Like his design philosophy is very similar to kind of my preference when it comes to like miniature skirmish games. So it'd be cool to finish that project off with him.
My last one would be, again, someone we worked with was David Thompson.
Yeah.
He worked on Dire Alliance with us.
You got to combine. It's like a two-parter. I can take Trevor Benjamin then, right? You take David Thompson. I take Trevor Benjamin. Let's split them up because they were.
Well, we met with David way more often because of the time difference.
Yeah. Plus, he's always at conventions. I always see David more. I've only ever talked. I think we were on a Skype call one time with Trevor. But yeah, I've always kind of met David in person. So I'll take that. Trevor, you're mine. I got you.
All right. Let's see. That was Ken Changar on Discord. Zeke has a similar question to Old School Gamer. Zeke is also one of our VIPs, very important playtesters. How do you determine which characters you want to add to the game as playable? Is it easier to develop a character from one of your own books since you know them more, or does that restrict you in some way because you want them to be true to the character?
Well, as far as the playable thing goes, you kind of have to play to who you think's gonna be the most play to the audience as well. Like you have to go for like the protagonists because it's weird because I have this weird mentality myself where people have this concept where if you're designing a game, you're designing a Batman game. A lot of designers will be like, oh, everyone's gonna want to be Batman. You got to have other characters, but everyone's gonna want to be Batman. Not me. I would always be like, give me Robin, give me
Commissioner Gordon,
give me Nightwing, Commissioner Gordon. I like the side characters, but I do understand that the majority of people would want the Batman. So when you're picking characters to make into player characters, they usually have to be the ones that are going to be people want to play as. So the protagonists. The second part was how to make them. Oh yeah, if it's better to do your own.
Is it easier to design them because they're not restricted to you have to match the way they're written or whatever?
I think for me maybe it's almost easier if it's not some of my characters because you have the obvious hooks. Because if they're your characters, stuff that readers might not know, that like readers or the audience that might not be as relevant to them. But if you're designing somebody else's characters, you're going off all the forward information you already have, of that. So I think in a way it's almost easier if you're adapting somebody else's stuff. But I think I enjoy the challenge more. Like doing this has told me I want to keep doing books and then do games off those books, because I just like bringing those characters to life that way. So it's just, I guess it comes into a personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, as far as when it comes to me design, when we design games, a lot of times Brady focuses more on the enemy side of the game, and because we always do co-op games, obviously, but I usually focus more on the player side of things. So when it comes to designing characters, I really just need to know like a theme. Like, is this guy's a fighter, he needs to be tough or whatever. Like he's defensive. Like I kind of just design archetypes and pretty easy to work around things.
Yeah, for better or worse, when it comes to writing, I do appreciate tropes. Not in the same way of like a romance book might lean on tropes, because a lot of like romance fans want X, Y, and Z tropes, when they're picking stuff. I just like stuff that's somewhat relatable, not like predictable or, what's the term? When you're recycling, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's like not the obvious, but at the same, I like to turn things on their heads occasionally, but also like
rehashing.
Yeah, tropes are important. Tropes give you an anchor. So,
last one is the most important one from Nemesis Nate. Which Blood Bowl teams are you all planning to run? So those who aren't familiar or aren't aware, Saturday, tomorrow, Blood Bowl Season 3 releases from Games Workshop. I am very guilty of being a Blood Bowl lover. Like I know I know what kind of game it is. It takes forever to play. It's very crunchy. It's also very punishing, very random, but it's fun. I like it. I love it. It's all right. I'm very excited about Season 3. They have cleaned up some rules. My team, which I'm playing, Imperial Nobility, they got a little bit of a buff, which is nice. They were a little harder to play in Season 2 when they launched in Season 2 when that box came out. However, I complained about this on the podcast that did not save.
The lost episode.
Yeah, lost episode. So one of the teams I've always loved is High Elves. I like the Fancy Boys, but they were like the passing team. They were great passers. I always play them in the video game. They've been in Blood Bowl forever, but like when Blood Bowl got relaunched in 2016, they had like a relaunch of the game because forever Games Workshop was not publishing it. It was just managed by the community. But they decided to finally publish it again, and they launched it with a handful of teams, like humans, dwarves, orcs, and I think that was it for the first. I think dwarves were the first team release after the box set. But anyway, they've been slowly releasing teams over the years, and they've got most of the core teams from the past released. They even started releasing new teams like gnomes. Brand new team, never released before.
I should probably get that team.
They're very silly looking.
I was on the fence about it because the design style wasn't my ideal version.
Well, this season they're going to be releasing all the team packs, so now's the time to pick up a new team.
Maybe.
But finally, they've pretty much confirmed that High Elves will be coming in this season, so I will definitely pick up the High Elves. I still think I like the Imperial Nobility better. Like I like humans, and they're the rich guys. And they're an interesting team. I like them. But I'm definitely going to pick up the High Elves, see how they play. Nemesis Nate, I did see your werewolves. You're painting the necromantic horror team. That's awesome. I wish you lived around here because I want to play some different teams. I'm only ever playing his halflings. I think our neighbor Kevin has the Norse team. I played one game with him when he first got it, but I'm going to try him in Season 3 and see if I can beat him. He also has a Lizardman. I want to try Lizardman too.
Lillard. I thought you said Matthew Lillard. Lizardman.
He has the Lizardman. The Lizardmen.
Lizardman.
But yeah, I'm very excited about Blood Bowl. Maybe we should just turn this into a Blood Bowl podcast.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to do it solo, I could just sit here and play my brick.
Maybe if you learn how to play the game, you'd like it better.
I know how to play the game. I do it. I enjoy the game. It's just not something I think about as much as you. So I think I have my halflings still. Who am I going to play besides halflings? I might check the gnomes out.
I'm embarrassed to say that his halflings have beaten me twice.
They're good. The pigeon punchers are really good. I kind of would maybe try out the gnomes. I don't know. I didn't love the aesthetic they were going with. But you mentioned also that the humans can have halflings on their team. I would prefer if I just had a team where there was a halfling. I don't need to play all halflings.
Go buy a human team.
Maybe I'll buy a human team. I don't know. So that's maybe.
They're out of stock everywhere because they're so old. the Reichland Reavers, but they'll probably re-release them with this season, I'm guessing.
Was that the last question?
That was the last listener question, which is good because we're coming up on an hour here. So we filled that hour pretty well. Hopefully you enjoyed our first video podcast and our little teaser announcement. Hopefully more people are excited as us about.
We'll have an actual press release, more formalized and everything. But it's, if you're following us on our socials and our podcast, you deserve a little behind the scenes. I'm sure the word will get out there anyway. But yeah, it's exciting time. We're gonna have a press release when there's something more tangible. When we have some more plans in place. But right now, the attention is on the Malice of Light Adventures. Which
yes, this needs to do well before we can do anything else. So hopefully this funds.
Go back it.
If you're not following it, please follow it. Share it with your friends. We need as many followers as possible so we can launch that thing. So
cool. Thanks for hanging out, and we will be back in maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yep.
Bi-weekly. I don't know.
Yep.
See you later.
And let us know if you like the video. We'll keep doing it. So the cat says bye.
Lockley is here to show you his butthole again.